Welcome to the Dashless Report season finale. We are live at the championship dinner for the Grippin' and Rippin' team. And my guest over here, as usual, Norman Jemal. And Norman, what a whirlwind day today. Starting 9:30 in the morning. We did the whole parade route with the team. Why don't you tell us what that was like?
Bobby, it was wild. It was wild. The parade started in Teaneck. It then went south. It went to Highland Park. And when the caravan hit East Brunswick, the crowds there were 30 and 40 and 50 deep. It was just mayhem. Real mayhem. And then when the parade took a 3-hour drive north to the 5 towns at Rockaway, it was just insanity. There are Grippin' and Rippin' fans all over.
Yeah, they were coming out of the woodwork. We did not believe how many Grippin' and Rippin' fans there are, and there was celebrities in tow also. You know,
everywhere
the sporting
you go,
world. You have Alan Greenspan, Alan Dershowitz. We had Marty Markowitz, the politician. I mean, the guys.
Mayor Bloomberg himself.
Right. Steven Spielberg, Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, guys were all over the place. We had a huge lunch at 2nd Avenue Deli, and Rabbi Sarah Weissman made a great speech, gave him the key to the city. It was an unbelievable day today, and now we end up culminating on the Sephardic part of the night.
Yes.
And we're here at the team dinner over at Stephen Matesh's house, and a beautiful spread over here. But what a fulfilling day, and we're gonna have a lot of guests for you today. We're gonna hear from all the championship members, and what can we say, Norman? I'm surprised they even let you in the house after you went against them.
Hey, what can I
but,
say?
You know, you were somewhat right. You did get, I guess, Game 4 correct, but Game 5 was no match.
Well, let me tell you this, Bob. Game 4, if we want to touch on Game 4 briefly, because it's not the key game, and the Dodgers ended up losing the series. But Game 4, the Dodgers came out. They were clicking on all cylinders. Ike Edid was quiet and focused, as I expected him to be. He did have a slight injury. I think he had a slight neck injury, but he wasn't letting that deter him. He was on target, and the Dodgers were on their way. Big Soli had a couple of big hits. They were clicking. They were fielding. Carlos, as predicted here, did field well. He didn't have a lot of chances, but he took care of all the ground balls that came his way. Somehow, in Game 5, what I find as the key play of the series, as the turning point, because I really thought the Dodgers were going to take that momentum from Game 4 and win the whole thing on Game 5. And then I was going to brag to everybody how I picked every single game of this series correctly. 0-0 ball game early on in Game 5, which ended up being a blowout. There was a play where Jackie Towell was on first base with 2 outs. And somebody hit a ball in the gap. I guess it was Big Soli or Hakeem or whoever bats after JT. Jackie Towell, one of the fastest guys, runs to second on contacts, rounds second, rounds third, comes home on a play. Adam Schulman in center field threw a strike to Gabe Abadie, and Gabe Abadie threw a strike to the catcher at home plate, out at home plate. I never saw a dugout like the Dodgers dugout. Long faces, drawn, like the game was over. It was still 0-0.
It was amazing because that he was even close to the plate, because it was really a base hit up the middle. And, you know, I guess with 2 outs, he figured it was worth the shot. You know, they say never make the 3rd out at home. But with his speed, I guess it was worth the shot, but it was clearly out. And you're right, after that, you know, the tide certainly changed. But one thing we should notice, and supposedly, I guess you could look, Ike Edid was not 100% healthy on the day, and you know, there was video of him getting his arm, you know, rubbed down. I think it was his elbow, his arm, his shoulder. We're not exactly sure. We didn't get word from the trainer because he wasn't talking to the media afterwards, but he was clearly not the same. As you mentioned, he was extremely quiet for the most part. Very unlike Ike Edid after the week before his explosion. So maybe there was something more to it than that. But, you know, I will show, once again, A.D. Sackett dominated the whole series. And he was, you know, of course, named the MVP of the postseason, deservedly so. But I guess what it shows is that really the tide is turning now, because now, you remember way back in the first round, Steve Azer came up lame with an injury, which knocked out
unfinished
business. You know, really goes to show that you got to get youth. It's a young man's league now, and you just can't take your chances on guys that are 50 years old being 100% anymore. You got a 28-year-old like A.B. Saka who can do everything. I mean, hitting, fielding, pitching. I mean, you know, so right now, clearly to me, is the best pitcher in the league, hands down.
A.B. Saka, how many people can say in Game 5 of the World Series they went out and pitched a shutout? And that's exactly what he did. Now, Grip It and Rip It made it easy for him. They scored 8-9 runs, but A.B. Saka was tremendous all season long. And to be clear, every time I picked against Grip It and Rip It, I was picking against their bats. You know, there was no doubt in anybody's mind how good A.B. Saka has become as a pitcher. And when you combine the pitching with the fact that he's an excellent hitter, line drive hitter, he's not hitting home runs over the fence, okay? But base hit, base hit, base hit. He was a key part in their offensive attack also. I mean,
but how many plays do we see up the middle that he flagged down? I mean, he's an incredible fielder, and the infield alone, and you know, about right field with a young 16-year-old star Zach Ashkenazi, who made incredible plays, and you know, I think also the turning point was I think they took Jackie Towell out of his game and they went 4 outfielders. I think he was that was something he couldn't adjust. He was trying to go other ways, and he was he didn't do anything those seasons, so the post World Series. So
he did. Yeah, Jackie Towell was definitely not at his best in the World Series. Got to call it as it is. He did hit some balls hard straight to one of the fourth outfielders in the gap. But you know, he didn't get it done at the end of the day in Game 5, and I assume he would be the first to say the same thing. I mean, you got to come through during Game 5s, Game 4s, when all the chips are on the table, and he didn't get that done. But back to Grip It and Rip It, like you said, Ashkenazi in right field, A.B. Dweck in left field, and Schulman in center. Very, very solid outfield.
And fast, incredible.
Very fast. Just the whole team was just put together very smartly. I didn't pick him in the beginning of the year. I didn't pick him during the year. I didn't see it until I got to sit down and watch the World Series with my own 2 eyes, and you got to see how good this team really was. Then you go to the infield, you put Jordy at third and Gabe Abadi at shortstop, who nobody mentions as a top 6 shortstop in the league, who makes every single play and throws a strike to first base every time. With range. So, I think
those are the stars, but then you have a first base, Stephen Matesh, underrated first baseman.
Always underrated.
Always is. Makes every play, makes great scoops, low throws. And Svi Goldberg, extremely solid at second base. Nothing flashy, but makes every single play.
And then Ira made that play at the plate. So this, and then at short center they have Lior, right?
Lior, Michael Stanley, Rich Stu also played.
Right. I mean, this team was just put together the right way. A lot of people draft teams like go to Saban. He drafted a team all offense. Okay, fine. And then he drafts Moses and Kornman, which he used as an excuse later on. But the reason he drafted them early on was because he didn't want to deal with how to slot people. I want to bat this person in game 1, that person in game 2. He said, I have 2 people that will never complain about not getting it at bat. That's what really
worried about. But you know, he didn't realize when a couple of guys don't show up, those 2 people have to bat, and and that came back to bite him a few times. But we're going to talk to the Adam Schulman, the catalyst of this team, how he put the whole team together in a couple of minutes. Because it was on draft day, he made some brilliant moves, and you know, how he put this whole team together was incredible. And you know, so it ended up with a championship. But you got to give him credit, as we mentioned earlier last week, the first Ashkenaz captain in the 36-year history of the YMSL, so that's something they should be very proud of.
He broke the Hamid barrier.
So we're going to wait to hear from him. And right now, our first guest.
Wow, star-studded cast here, Bob.
How about the captain? Get the captain here.
I think we should start with the captain. By the way, very fitting that the World Series went all 5 games, because every game was close until Game 5. The entire year was close with the standings. Whoever was in first place kept on dropping down.
Right.
And sure enough, the postseason, a lot of the series went long, and then the World Series ultimately went all the way. Here we have captain of the World Series champs. You know what? Go in the middle so we could do this properly.
Congratulations, Adam, on a day today. Some parade you had.
Wait. Good now.
Check 1, 2. Yeah, unbelievable parade. The streets in New Brunswick were going wild.
Yeah.
They were got off the bus and everyone was just waiting there. You know, signs and confetti. It was unbelievable, honestly.
That's something spread they put it.
Had a parade for the champion. Oh, the lox, the cream cheese. It was the only way to do it. You know.
Yeah.
You know what that means now? Brooklyn's good.
So Adam, we're just talking about the team that was obviously that draft that you put together, really team. But you also made an unorthodox move that day, was actually drafting down to make your picks. What was the thought process behind that?
Well, to be honest with you, I picked that I think 7th.
Right.
And the way I scouted out the draft, you know, there was a big drop off after the first like 3 or 4 guys in the league. And I figured my strategy was stockpile on some very good solid guys, and instead of having a really big superstar and then having like a lower tier guy, I figured I'd trade and get some picks in the 4th, 5th round where those guys can make a difference. And it turned out to be like an AP Dweck and Michael Rischte. Those guys paid big dividends.
Now you also one of those picks ended up being A.B. Saka.
That's right. Yeah.
Was that in your thought? Like, did you have him in mind the whole time, or was it?
No. So after the 2nd round, if you remember, we had the weekend in between the 1st and 2nd round.
Yeah, right.
My 3rd round pick was slotted late in the 3rd round, and Ali Marshall called me from the draft war room with a crazy trade. He's like, I want to give you my 2nd pick in the 3rd round. You could either get Sammy Towell or A.B. Saka, and I knew Jemal loved Sammy Towell. I knew I would get Steven Matesh later, who's a better first baseman anyways.
Right.
Yeah!
Whoa!
Security!
Sammy Towell just dropped a piece of marble on his toe right now.
Once he put A.B. Saka in front of me, he dangled him, I had to jump on him. And unfortunately, it ended up meaning I lost my brother Jared. Hopefully he'll forgive me for that. But if you have a guy like Saka there for the taking, you got to jump on it. So I made the trade. I'm wondering why I wasn't up for GM of the year, but it worked out. It worked out very well.
Now, is there any? Do you feel any sympathy for Jared? Ended up maybe being on one of the worst franchises in the history of the league.
Definitely a little sympathy. There were times where he thought his team was pretty good. They were on a hot streak early in the season, but that kind of soon came to a big fall, and they had a big falling out. So I do feel bad that he was stuck on that team, but they were competitive. They were a pretty good team, so it's always next year.
What do you know about your right fielder going into this year? Did you know anything about him, Ashkenazi, or were you as surprised as everybody else?
I had no idea who he was. I got to thank Bobby's nephew, one of the little guys, the score table, actually this guy right here.
Ricky.
He whispered in my ear during the draft saying, at the 11th round I didn't know who to take. All the names were foreign to me. I knew I was going to get my father in the 11th round, but other than that I had no idea who was left. And Ricky whispers in my ear, this kid's really good, take Zach Ashkenazi. I was like, all right, I give him a call. And he seemed like he was, a gamer, and it worked out. Definitely a big steal. So Ricky, I got to buy.
I'm sure he was very talkative on the phone when you called him.
I had to pry some words out of him, get a 4-letter word in there maybe. But no, I got to buy Ricky some dinner or something. It worked out very well for us. So.
Now, when your team started out 1-5, did you have any doubts about some of your selections, or your team was still confident?
1-5. We were all, a little bit nervous. To say we weren't nervous is a little bit of a lie, but the way we lost those games at 1-5, they were close games, 1-1 games. Leo Picciotto threw a guy Gabe at home to end the game. They were very tough losses, so we knew we were a good team. So it was a matter of bouncing back the next week. We actually played the Cheeseheads. So I actually got to thank Ike Mavor and company for helping us out.
Once again, bailing out another team.
Right, so it ended up working out all right.
Now in the playoffs, when we had this new system this year where you pick your opponent, you guys did the controversial flipping of the coin where everybody and their brother thought you were crazy for actually wanting to face Steve Azer and the unfinished business.
Right.
But you swept them the week before. But was your team in agreement? What was going on? Who made the decision?
Well, first and foremost, they always say the coin never lies. So, you know, it ended up working out in our favor, but we did send out an email, you know, with 3 options. You know, it was Insane, Maurice's team, and then winning. And there was no real, you know, consensus pick. Most of the guys wanted to play Maurice's team.
Wow.
But I figured, you know what, why not let fate decide it, flip a coin, have some fun with it, and it ended up, you know,
Wow.
all right.
It certainly worked out in your favor,
Yeah,
looking like a genius, like the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the perks of winning a championship, obviously, is you know, the celebrity status that comes with plenty of women. And our sister station, TMZ, sent us this photo. I don't know if you noticed this. Read what it says on the bottom there.
Anne Hathaway takes a walk with boyfriend Adam Schulman in Midtown Manhattan. Wow. Don't show this to Flo.
That is you, right?
That is me, yes, that is correct. Wow.
Wow, Anne Hathaway, interesting.
How'd you get a little something with Anne Hathaway? Who brought that out?
Playing a little something on the side. That wasn't supposed to be news, but.
So, you know, it's amazing. You're,
Yes,
they're coming from all over the place,
Who's
winning
the
a
TMZ
championship.
over here? Who's got TMZ going on over
We
here?
got, we're connected.
It was my third big win of Sunday. You know, we won the YMSL. I was a pinch runner for the Gesher Tournament Champions. Didn't really play much, and you know, I had a nice Sunday night dinner with Anne Hathaway. So
All right, well,
quite a weekend. You
what
know?
did Florence have to say about that?
Well, now that she knows about it, I'll find out. I think she's texting me right now, actually.
By the way, I can't believe we didn't ask this question yet. At 1-0, Mr. Schulman went ahead and hit a 3-run homer in Game 5 of the World Series. Take us through that at bat.
Five is about heroes.
They put his head in there with him.
It's not really much to say. I mean, I was telling my little brothers after the game that I hit like garbage all season just for that one moment. I purposely hopped up all year, you know.
Right.
I really had it in me all along. I was waiting for the right moment to bring it out, and you know, 2 outs, first and second, Game 5 of the World Series. I figured now's the time.
Who found that? That's what I want to know.
Like Udid, you know, laid over a meatball, and you know, just kept sailing, and it was nice.
Was Udid not as strong in the second game as he was in the first?
I mean, I think Game 4 and 5, something was missing with him. I don't know what it was. I heard some rumors he had a pinched nerve in his back or something. Maybe it's just some excuses for his loss. I don't know what it is, but he definitely didn't have the same fiery, you know, fastballs that he usually does. So, but I mean, you got to give our team some credit. We hit him well all series, and you know, whether he had his good stuff or bad stuff, we were right there.
Right.
Yeah, clearly, and you actually won in your rookie campaign with
right.
IQD Chaos,
Chaos, yep.
one of the best teams in this league. So, Adam, once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Great season.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy the off season, and look at the trophy there with your
That's I saw it.
name on it. Enjoy it for the year.
We're gonna be drinking out of that.
You got
in a
it.
bit. That's right.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Bob, there you have the captain of Grip It and Rip It.
Yeah.
Adam Schulman had a great season, had a great World Series especially, and that home run in Game 5 opened the floodgates.
Well, you know, actually, he was struggling the whole series, and we actually talked about it, why he was even batting. I mean, he was really, you know, he's popping up every single time. And,
Right.
So maybe the outfielders were very shallow.
Well, ask him, he hustled then.
Yeah.
He's popping up all year just to get the big score at the time that it mattered.
Why don't we get our next member, Jordy Remelda.
Third baseman, up for a Gold Glove this year, actually. Jordy Ramel. Jordy, welcome to the Dashless and Douglas report.
Douglas, I like that. How you guys doing?
Welcome to Jordy, and once again, an outstanding defensive campaign at third base. You really lit it up this year, and there's a lot of talk that might be your last year at third base.
Yeah, I hope so. I want to make a move to shortstop. No reason, you know. I think I like third base, but I used to play short, and I think it's time to go back there now. Some guys, you know, I think I heard Carlos wants to play a little center field. Ali Marshall wants to move to center field. Who knows? I don't think Sammy Cross is going to be back, so open up some positions for me.
I was just going to say that. Sammy Cross is probably out. Carlos, I could see him moving positions after this year. So, yeah, I think Jordy Ramel at shortstop. Interesting.
I've been playing in the night league a little bit, you know, and I think I could do it. I really think I could do it.
The arm is there. The thing is at third, because we were talking about Big Soli last week when there was rumors that he may have moved to short just for that Game 4 and 5. And he was saying the difference between third and short is how much range you have to cover. But you're a young guy, so you're up for that challenge.
Almost 20 years younger than Salty, so I'm sure the range is a little different, and I'm sure he can handle it well. Let's talk about, you've been in the league now for maybe 5 years, and you've been a top, first, second round pick every year, and you really haven't established yourself numbers-wise as like a superstar. Do you feel you're coming into your own now? Or?
Yeah, I definitely feel, my hitting, everyone says my fielding's there, fielding has always been first with it. But I think, during the seasons, I don't really put up the batting stats that I should for the round that I got. I got picked third round. And I think that I need to step it up a little more. But in the playoffs, I managed hang tough and
yeah, I think once we see more consistent at Seattle, because at times the ball jumps out of your bat. Tremendous power that comes out. So no doubt, actually the first rounder a couple of years. So you're on the verge of superstardom.
Now I noticed a difference on the dugout, on the bench. I don't know if you made a conscious effort or if this just happened as you're more comfortable in the league or whatever. But I noticed you were much more vocal this year. You were cheering your team, you were screaming at people, everybody runs out everything.
Well, I owe that all to Gabe, he's a good friend. He kind of wakes me up. Sometimes I get up on Sunday mornings and, I'm not there. I'm really
you got
not
up
there.
or you're just coming from the night out?
Could be one of the, But I gotta owe that to my teammates. I realize that when I'm more vocal and I'm loud, it seems to wake people up. They see it in me, I guess, and it helped out the team. I noticed that the games that I was quiet, there was no emotion even in the game.
Right. Now this is actually your second championship, right?
Yeah.
You won a couple of years ago with that same team?
But Ike, you did a different team.
Different team.
2008.
How many times did you win?
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
Not this year.
So,
Not this year.
how do you compare? I'm gonna put you on the spot. This team compared to the team that you won with Yedid a few years ago.
Well, they're very different seasons. That was my first season coming in. I didn't really know what was flying. I didn't know any of the guys and anything. But that team, I'm not going to take anything away from that one. But that team, I don't think we would ever get a team like that again. The players, I don't know how we got a team like that. We had Max Nesser in right field. He got traded for Maurice Saber. Maurice Saber's even a great player. But this year's team definitely felt more comfortable in the lineup. I felt as I was more of a leader on the team. I was playing with some older guys like Michael Saban, like Yedid, Eddie Michon. My whole team was older. Now on my team, I'm more comfortable around the younger guys, I think. But both teams are unbelievable. Love both of them, and can't take anything away from them.
We talked about that earlier. That it looks like it's becoming a young man's league now. You look at the rosters of both the championship teams. A lot of guys that are 21, 22, and it just seems that that's the wave of the future. The way the league's been going. The influx of young talent, and it seems the veterans are just weeding out more complimentary players now.
Yeah, I'm not. The older players, they're always in clutch situations. They even, throughout the season, they play unbelievable. These guys are still unbelievable players. But I do agree, guys like Joe Chia, Jackie, Gabe. These guys are lights out. Also, as they become more consistent, they will be the guys to
Yeah.
in the league. It's almost there already.
Yeah. You can just tell by both teams, and the veteran team sort of didn't have enough with the older pitchers, and we had Yedid coming up injured, Azer coming up injured, Red running out of gas, so it was just seems it's a young man's league. So once again, Jordy, congratulations on your second championship, and
Thanks, guys.
enjoy the off season.
Okay.
And we look to see you
Bob,
before you know it.
Yeah, Jordy
Next
just
year.
reminded me of the days when the league had so many issues with slotting people and everything. When he mentioned on his roster was Ike Yedid and Eddie Michon.
Yeah.
Remember back to the days when Yedid and Michon had to be together on every team every year, and there was always mayhem and controversy. And this one is slotted in the 4th round, this one's slotted in the 8th round. He's replacing him. Thank God that nonsense is gone. I'm getting word in my ear now that we have secured Gabe a baddie. Batty, shortstop
Wow.
for the Griffin and Ripper Championship team,
right.
to join us on the Dashless and Dashless report.
And also available on our sister station, SY, on the Spanish station.
Yes.
So at channel 47.
ESP.
Turn your SAP button or something. Oh, ESP something.
All right, Gabe, welcome.
Microphone, please, Gabe.
Yes.
Gabe, this is your first championship.
Yes.
And what an amazing year. We talked about it earlier, Gabe. I mean, it was not instant stardom with you when you came into the league. You were actually picked by Henry Schall on his Transformers team, right?
No, not Henry Schall.
Who team was that?
Norwood. I was on Norwood Nation.
Ike Norwood.
Norwood Nation.
And I go back, actually I saw him in the tournament, Geshe Yehuda, and I was telling him, Ike, what a shame. Like, we had the crazy team. We had that year Eddie Rishti, MVP that year. Solly, who was also an MVP candidate.
So that was your rookie year?
That was my rookie year.
So where'd you play? Because Eddie Rishti
I
played.
sat
Oh, you
on
didn't
the
play.
bench the whole time.
play.
Designated hitter.
And you were never on Henry's team? Was that the next year? Or you
No,
started?
I didn't. I
that was
subbed in
trans-
for the Killer season.
Oh, so you were, wow, so you came, I guess you didn't, Norwood didn't spot any talent on you.
He didn't see anything inside.
He probably thought you were just soccer.
It is what it is.
When did you become an everyday shortstop in this league? When did you get to play as a starting
Actually, I think
shortstop?
second base was 1 year you
I
played.
played second base the year after. What I played with? I played with. I'm having trouble remembering. But yeah.
Actually, I believe Eddie Michon was your first year short, right?
That's where I played shortstop. He moved
Guys,
over
it's
from
hot.
me.
He put you
I
at
gotta give him
short.
some credit.
Yeah,
Wow.
he moved because he felt he was, he didn't have the range and put Gabe at short. He was lights
Steak's
out.
coming.
So he became an everyday shortstop. So, yeah, so that was actually last year, the second year at short. But you were an outstanding second baseman. Right?
Now I got to tell you, in the World Series, some of the best defense on Griffin and
Shish
Ripken,
kebab's outrageous.
which was Sterling in the field, great D. Some of the best plays are made at shortstop
Can I
by
make
this
these
man
guys a
right
play?
here. And I asked him the question right after. I don't know if the timing was perfect, but why is he not recognized as Marshama on defense, Eddie Rishti, Hank
Big
Shala,
words, big words.
Alley. This guy made every single play. He has range from third base to second base. Every throw is on a dime. Nobody mentions him as a shortstop.
Well, I think.
Let's give it some time. I'm not.
I
no,
think
you don't have to put me
actually
in
now that
class
he's
yet.
been in the spotlight, playing for the national audience for the championship, his game is going to be noticed by a lot more people. I think you're going to see Gabe. He's been a second-round pick for the last couple of years, so he's not really, going no hidden secret. But I would say, you're going to be a low first round, early second round.
I'm not too worried about the status just yet. Give it some time. If I keep on winning, then my name will be up there. But these guys have a lot of championships under their belt, so give it some time.
Now, your brother Carlos had a tough series.
Gabe!
Your brother, you have some of the fans here, some female fans, and we saw this all day at the parade, Bob. People throwing unmentionables
Panties and bras.
all over Gabe and some of the other single players on Griffin
And some of the
Ripken.
married ones
And
too.
some-
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
When's the last time you saw Anne Hathaway in Highland Park?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was incredible.
Yeah.
People
Now-
were really into it, throwing matzo balls. It was crazy. People were wild today.
Elizabeth, New Jersey was rocking and rolling.
Gabe, when you were drafted for this team
Yes.
and you saw the team on paper, what was your initial reaction?
No, I was drafted first, and then I went to the draft with Adam to try to help him out with our picks. At first, I was a little confused. I didn't know exactly everyone on our team. He picked guys like Lior, I wasn't so sure about. But I gotta tell you, everyone came through, especially the guy I'm looking at right now, Zach Ashkenazi. We were so worried about our outfield. We didn't know what we had. We knew we had center fielder, left fielder, AD. But me and A.B. Saka were talking about it, and Truman were talking about how our outfield is weak. We didn't have anyone in right. And I gotta tell you, this kid stepped up like no one else. I mean,
Actually, he didn't even play the first week. He was the right fielder the first week. They did. Zach played right the first week.
he played with Lior also.
You mentioned A.B. Dweck, by the way, in left field. And A.B. usually makes every single play in left field, but at the end of game one, he went for a ball off the bat of Nathan Zolta, and he turned the single or double into a home run, a walk-off home run. What was going on in your locker room after that game?
I went ballistic after that play. I mean, all year long, this guy's been laying out and making some crazy plays. And the best plays on our team were made by him. That's 100%. He laid out several times and caught the ball. That time, I mean, he just wasn't thinking, I guess, because you could have just held that to the signal and that's it. You go on to the next hitter.
But listen, anybody knows that the way AB Dwight plays, you're gonna live and die with his.
All out.
Yeah,
it's
but
everything,
you got to know the
you gotta
situation, though.
Yeah, I know, but you're gonna live with the decisions. You're gonna make ridiculous plays. He's gonna make some bonehead plays in the field and in the bases. But he's going to be very aggressive. That's one thing about his game. You know, so.
I'll take any guy that's willing to put his body on the line and plays hard every single play. And then, you know, if you make a mistake like that, he got up next week, by the way, the next week after that, and he played unbelievable in that game 2 and 3. So there's no reason to criticize him. He played great all year.
You know, it's funny. After the draft, we were going over all the teams, and really got to rip it and grip it, and and it was just nothing. Nobody got excited about the team either way. It was just a team that was sort of lost in the shuffle. Everybody was into insane, and Azer with a stacked team. The team was just like, it'll be somewhere in the middle of the road.
We got some crucial steals in that draft, like A.B. Saka. How could that guy drop so deep in the draft?
Yeah.
Not only is he the best pitcher in the league, he hits lights out. The guy was a 3-hitter throughout the World Series. And to have a pitcher that can hit that well is just...
Also, another guy that had an outstanding year, I mean, is Michael Richter.
Oh, my God.
His on-base percentage must have been like
He
over
leads the league
700.
in walks every
He
year,
walked
by the
11
way.
times in the World Series, in the playoffs.
He's unbelievable. And every year, if you look back, he's always leading the league in walks.
And RBIs, crucial
he got
base
the
hits.
big hits this year, and he played pretty solid defense. And
You
when
could
he
go
was in
down the
there,
list.
short
You
set.
could go down the list. Everyone stepped up.
But that goes back to the original drafting and the trading. They didn't make the big splashes. They didn't make the headline moves or anything. But they were very smart. And now we're learning that Gabe was there at the draft.
Actually, I'd like to talk to you about one other thing, which seems we noticed that a lot also. The scouting department on the organization is outstanding. There must have been at least half a dozen times throughout the playoffs where you had defenders in the outfield, in the middle, in a spot, and catching balls.
Right.
Eddie
Michael
Hakeem got robbed. Eddie Hakeem got robbed in a huge situation.
That was the play with Michael Richter, short right.
Yeah, that was a huge play. And what about Nathan Zolta? We got into his head. Jackie Tower wasn't the same hitter. We played the 4 outfielders. And we did some very big things. I mean, we gotta credit
Really, the truth is, just everything clicked in the playoffs. I mean, the defense was outstanding. The pitching, the hitting with the clutch hitting was incredible.
And honestly, that's the only way to win. How do you win? Everything has to click. Everything has to go your
It's really
way.
the hottest team that gets in.
They didn't fight with each other. This team. They didn't get involved.
We credit Adam Schumer for that. After every single bad play, every strikeout, whatever it is, pop out. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Keep on fighting. Keep on going. And that's why he's a captain. That's why he's a great leader.
Yeah, now, he's been the captain for 2 years, and his team's gone far both years. Last year in the semis, and he's definitely a great young, inspirational captain. Gabe, once again, thanks you.
Guys.
Congratulations, and
Thank you, Gabe.
See you later,
look forward to seeing many more championships out of you.
Thank you, boys.
Commercial break.
All right, we're going to take a break from our sponsors right now. RBI Beverage Inc. and Ramp Catering, and we'll be right back.
Suicide rate. I am